The story begins with a local fight where Princess Franci was cheered on by Eirth, who praised her for defeating him. However, Franci, ever humble, reminded him that at the academy they were equals and childhood friends. Despite this, she teasingly pointed out that Eirth had never managed to defeat her, not even once. Eirth defended himself, saying that since she was destined to become a knight after graduation and protect the royal palace, such strength was expected of her. He jokingly asked how she would face the citizens without such skills. A nice defense, right? Later, Franci overheard two girls discussing Eirth. They were impressed by his strength, wealth, and talent, and eager to get to know him better. This annoyed Franci, and she immediately intervened, telling them that while Eirth might appear talented, he was actually contrary and perverse. She even claimed that he used to hide inappropriate books in his room, and that there was always an obscene expression in his eyes. Sure, he was handsome, but she advised them to give up on him. The girls, surprisingly, agreed and concluded that no one would want Eirth as a boyfriend. This infuriated Eirth, and it wasn't the first time Franci had damaged his reputation. Although he already had someone in his heart, he had enough of her ruining his image. In another scene, students murmured about a recent battle, and soldiers were losing their enthusiasm. Amidst this, the sound of thunder echoed as Lord Hero's son practiced during break. It appeared he, too, had lost to Princess Franci. His father, Lord Hero, had earned the title Hero for his role in saving others from the Demon King, as one of the 7 heroes. Eirth's father was also one of them. The children of these heroes were expected to have exceptional talent, but unfortunately, Eirth had always struggled, both in academics and swordsmanship. The soldiers discussed how they hoped that when Eirth graduated, he would join the Imperial Knights and finally receive proper training. But for Eirth, these self-imposed expectations were embarrassing. Just as Eirth was lamenting his defeat, his father, Lord Hero, unexpectedly arrived. This shocked Eirth, as his father was always working, but upon hearing of his son's loss, he had come to see him. Lord Hero began nagging Eirth, reminding him that his opponent was a girl and teasing him about the defeat. He even bragged about his past victories. Frustrated, Eirth asked if his father would help him with his sword training from the basics so he could finally defeat the princess. But Lord Hero refused, citing his busy schedule, and instead suggested that Eirth follow the Academy's teachings and train under Sadith, who held an advanced knight certificate. This only frustrated Eirth more, as he felt burdened by the unrealistic expectations that were placed upon him, despite his best efforts. Lord Hero added that Eirth was the type of student who grew quickly, which made Eirth furious. His father was rarely around, so how could he possibly know how hard Eirth had been trying? Eirth argued that he was doing his best and that even taking second place was a significant achievement. What was so bad about that? Eirth tried to calm himself, thinking that his father was probably just worried he didn't come in first. But he didn't want anyone's pity, so he walked away, his face burning with embarrassment. On his way back home, he met the family's young maid, a war orphan whom Eirth's mother had gladly taken in. To Eirth, she was more like a distant sister, though now he dreamed of making her his wife. Sensing his mood, Sadith guessed he had lost to Princess Franci again, but he refused to admit it. In fact, he was confident that with his grades, he could skip every class and still become an Imperial Knight, fulfilling his father's wish and everyone's expectations. Sadith, understanding the way Eirth spoke, knew he must have met with his father. But Eirth, clearly disturbed, vented his frustrations to her, explaining how everyone constantly compared him to others, only for him to fall short of their expectations. Seeing his distress, Sadith consoled him, acknowledging that he had been shouldering heavy expectations for a long time. She reminded him that whilst his father had built a great name for himself, he had been through facing many difficulties at the academy. Eirth, on the other hand, had shown amazing results consistently, which only fueled people's desire to watch him grow. It wasn't about disappointment, she explained, it was a sign of how much they appreciated him. For Eirth, this was a surprising revelation. On such an unfortunate day, someone was finally appreciative of him. But this was nothing new. Shitei had always been his source of support. To lift his spirits, she offered to make him his favourite omelette and, before leaving, handed him the keys to his favourite sealed room, telling him it was time for the annual cleaning. He could enjoy some time in there. Years ago, during the Great War between the demon race, led by the Demon King, and the forces of Lord Hero and the Seven Heroes, humanity emerged victorious. The Demon King was slain by Lord Hero's ultimate sword, and that very sword had been placed in the sealed room ever since. As a child, Eirth's heart would race whenever he looked at the sword. Now though, his heart didn't race as it once did. He still felt drawn to it. So he opened the heavy door of the sealed room. To his surprise, standing there was a large, unknown man. Both Eirth and the man were shocked at the sight of each other. Eirth immediately asked who he was, and the man, startled, guessed that Eirth must be Hero's offspring. What surprised him more was that Eirth could actually see him. At that moment, Shitei entered the room, asking if Eirth had taken the sword. Eirth, alarmed, warned her about the strange man, but she seemed unable to see him. Realizing only he could see the mysterious figure, Eirth became even more confused. Who was this man? And why could only he see him? The man, with a strange calmness, revealed his true identity. He was the Demon King, the very one who had been vanquished by Lord Hero years ago. Eirth was startled awake when Shitei called out to him. He realized it had all been a dream. The idea that he had seen the Demon King felt impossible. According to Shitei, she had come back after fetching water and found him unconscious on the floor. As Eirth snapped back to reality, he instinctively snuggled Shitei for comfort. But his relief was short-lived when he looked up and saw the Demon King still hovering in the room, smiling at him. His fear returned, though Shitei had already left the room, unaware of the terrifying presence. Anxiety and fear swirled within him. How could someone who couldn't even win against Princess Franci stand a chance against the Demon King? Summoning his courage, Eirth finally spoke, asking if the figure truly was the great Demon King. If so, what was he doing in their armory? The Demon King, who introduced himself as Trainer, explained that when Lord Hero defeated him, his spirit had been trapped in the sword. But Lord Hero, unaware of this, stored the sword away in the sealed room, and Trainer's spirit had been stuck there for the past 15 years. Now, only Eirth could see and hear him, which meant Trainer was bound to him. Eirth, naturally, found this hard to believe. He thought he was being haunted by a ghost. But Trainer was connected to him now, and there was no escaping it. Still, Eirth wasn't ready to accept this bizarre reality. The Demon King, being self-obsessed, demanded Eirth obey him, a concept the young boy refused to entertain. Trainer, desperate to leave the room after so long, pushed Eirth until he reluctantly agreed, but only for a quick walk around the city. On their way out, Shitei stopped Eirth, asking where he was going. She insisted on pampering him after his defeat by Princess Franci, offering to clean his father's room instead. When she found him unconscious earlier, she felt it was her duty to take care of him. After some struggle, Eirth managed to convince her to let him go. But now he had to deal with the fussy Demon King, who acted like a curious child, fascinated by everything he saw in the human world. At the end of their city visit, Eirth asked Trainer what he thought about it all. The Demon King, unimpressed, remarked that human society had advanced since his defeat. If he had another chance, he would destroy it all. Eirth was shocked by this statement, especially after the favour he had just done for him. It seemed that even in defeat, the Demon King's nature hadn't changed. Still, there was something about Trainer that seemed different from the tyrant Eirth had always read about in books. Curiosity gnawed at him, and he asked why Trainer had ended up defeated in the first place. But before he could get an answer, the Demon King's attention was suddenly drawn to a series he had been following while alive. When he saw its sequel was available, he excitedly demanded that Eirth buy it, warning him that he would regret it if he didn't. Eirth, exasperated, reluctantly followed the Demon King's orders. As they headed to the academy, they passed by Princess Franci. Trainer seemed impressed by her intelligence, noting the magical aura surrounding her and commenting on her exceptional martial arts skills. Eirth, now burning with jealousy, couldn't believe that even the Demon King was praising the girl he could never defeat. Lost in his thoughts, Eirth was caught off guard when his professor noticed him staring at Francis and interrupted his daydream, pulling him back to reality. Eirth felt a deep sense of embarrassment when his professor asked him to describe the eyes of the Demon King, a question he fumbled. His incorrect answer earned him punishment. He had to stay after class. Even Trainer, the Demon King, pitied him, commenting that as the son of Lord Hero, Eirth should be excelling at everything. This only fueled Earth's frustration. He was stuck in detention, and it was all because of the Demon King's meddling. Trainer, of course, wasn't accepting any blame. Trainer's attention soon shifted to the upcoming annual graduation match where Eirth was competing. Eirth already dreaded the results, knowing he would likely lose to Princess Francis yet again. Trainer, reading his thoughts, pointing out that Eirth was just a genius trapped in a well who had given up once he recognized his weakness. This stung Eirth, as he had been putting all his efforts into meeting everyone's expectations, but for the Demon King, these were just excuses. Excuses? Eirth snapped. How could Trainer so easily dismiss his struggles? He had been battling to meet everyone's expectations his whole life. This spurred Trainer into action. He decided it was time to help Eirth. He would teach him the power that once made the Demon King feared across the world. This, Trainer declared, was his chance to showcase his supreme power again, through Eirth. But to Trainer's shock, Eirth simply refused. He had already accepted that Princess Francis would win, and 2 months of training wouldn't change that. He had sought help from countless people before, and nothing had worked. This lack of motivation was disappointing for Trainer. He asked Eirth what his real goals were, and Eirth automatically replied that he wanted to become an Imperial Knight, an answer he had repeated many times. However, Trainer wasn't convinced. He questioned whether this goal was truly Eirth's desire or something decided for him by others. No one had ever asked Eirth this before, and the question shook him. He realized he had never actually wanted to follow in his father's footsteps, but he had never thought to question it until now. With Eirth now rethinking his future, Trainer decided to guide him. First, Trainer instructed Eirth to focus on winning the match in 2 months and find some genuine motivation. The training began with ladder climbing, though this was no ordinary exercise, it was magical, with enchanted steps designed to challenge him. It was unbelievable for Eirth to be trained by the Demon King who had once shaken the world, but he had to accept the strange reality. As they trained, Eirth struggled to focus, his mind constantly plagued by random distracting thoughts. Despite Trainer's efforts, Eirth's doubts and insecurities, mixed with mischievous thoughts, were still there, bubbling beneath the surface. Trainer quickly noticed that Eirth was not fully present during his training and became irritated, but Eirth promised to focus on the ladder exercises. According to the Demon King, this training would improve his footwork and overall athletic ability. Both Trainer and Eirth took the training seriously, but Eirth became exhausted quickly, his legs trembling from the strain. While Trainer wanted him to continue working on his physical techniques, Eirth was eager to train with the magic sword inspired by his father's legacy. However, Trainer outright refused, explaining that magic swordsmanship wasn't suited for Eirth. According to Trainer, only those with extraordinary abilities, like Eirth's father, could wield magic swords effectively. Unfortunately for Eirth, he didn't possess those abilities. This revelation hit Eirth hard. He had spent years working towards mastering the magical sword, only to find out that his talents didn't align with his father's. Instead, Trainer revealed that Eirth's true abilities mirrored his mother's, the priestess Memu, one of the 7 heroes. His potential lay in physical techniques, and if he harnessed that strength, he could even surpass his father, Hero. Trainer braced himself for Eirth's disappointment, but to his surprise, Eirth was actually relieved and excited. Now he had a new goal, to surpass everyone's expectations and prove his worth. Meanwhile, Shitei caught Eirth talking to Trainer and became concerned, thinking Eirth might be feeling lonely and imagining a friend. She also noticed that he had changed his training routine. Embarrassed, Eirth tried to play it off, but Shitei, as usual, distracted him by offering him a meal. Trainer, impressed by Sidith's care, praised her for maintaining Eirth's nutrition. Shitei had been looking after him since childhood, even pushing him to do well in school. Though they weren't blood related, their bond was strong, and Trainer encouraged Eirth to express his feelings to her. Under Trainer's influence, Eirth blurted out that he was going to win the upcoming match and marry Shitei. The moment he said it, he was filled with embarrassment, but to his shock, Shitei smiled and agreed, on the condition that he actually won the match. Her response gave Eirth the motivation he needed, even if it was somewhat impure, driven by his desire to win her hand. Sensing his newfound resolve, Trainer challenged Eirth to a mock duel. This excited Eirth, as it would be his first time fighting a worthy opponent, someone neither too weak nor as overpowered as Princess Franzai. Confident that Trainer, being a mere apparition, couldn't truly harm him. Eirth was completely taken aback when the first strike landed. It was lethal, and though he felt as if he were dying, there was no pain, only the suffocating sensation of his life slipping away. Fueled by rage, Eirth launched a counterattack against the Demon King, but none of his strikes had any effect. The battle ended swiftly with one final devastating blow from the great Demon King. Meanwhile, in the next scene, the princess awoke in her bed, a nostalgic dream still fresh in her mind. Since childhood, she had often dreamt of walking with the little heroes she once adored. As she rose, she noticed a letter, both suspicious and somehow familiar, waiting for her. In the previous encounter, Eirth had collapsed, panting on the floor, having failed to survive even a single blow from the Demon King, a technique eerily similar to those once used by humans. Humiliated, Eirth couldn't imagine how he could face the princess again. He began reflecting on his position, questioning what was so wrong with him being second. After all, he had never managed to defeat her. But what truly haunted him was how easily the Demon King had overpowered him. How had his father, Lord Hero, managed to defeat this same foe? Eirth had asked the Demon King, who grudgingly acknowledged Hero's strength, calling him a detestable man. Yet, the road to becoming the Lord who defeated the Demon King had not been an easy one. The Demon King praised Lord Hero's abilities and advised Eirth to learn from his father. However, for Eirth, his father was only a source of deep frustration and insecurity. Determined to understand, Eirth asked the Demon King how his father had achieved victory, seeking inspiration and perhaps a way to overcome his own shortcomings. The next day, Eirth was walking to school with Trainer, but he was dragging his feet after the grueling training from the day before. His sluggish pace was giving the Demon King some serious "ooh" vibes. As they made their way through the streets, they unexpectedly ran into Princess Franzai, who seemed surprised to see them. She was shyly holding a small container and explained that she had come to try the famous juice from the area, even though she hadn't waited for anyone to join her. Out of the blue, she offered to walk with them to school. On their way, Franzai asked Eirth about his plans after graduation. His answer was nothing remarkable, but she seemed concerned. As the future queen, all eyes would be on her during the final match before graduation, and she was determined to win. If this had been the old Eirth, he might have just told her to do her best, but the new Eirth was fired up. He was determined to win, not just for himself, but to show off his cool side, especially to Shitei. There was no way he could give up now. Franzai, however, seemed a little saddened by Eirth's newfound enthusiasm. Trainer noticed that they were clearly talking about different things, but the real issue was still looming. There were other formidable obstacles in Eirth's path, the children of other heroes and his childhood friends, all of whom would be competing against him. Could he possibly stand up to them? You'll have to tune in next time to find out. Thanks so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you never miss out on more awesome content just like this. Thanks again for hanging out, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.